couple injuries of note from the spring game. Kyle Porter with a slight ankle sprain, but being cautious with him, probably not going to participate in Thursday or the spring game, which is okay. We've seen he's still got a lot of work to do, but the guy's given us everything he's got for 12 practices, and impressed by his effort and durability. Andrew Beck re-injured his foot, not quite sure yet. We're going to send him, in terms of the severity of it, going to send him to a foot specialist on Thursday. Should know more then. And Devontae Davis came down on his shoulder, a very minor, first degree, I believe, separation in the shoulder, but non-surgical. He's got to be in a sling for a couple weeks, but he won't participate either. Other than that, everybody should be good. Had a good day today. And questions?
Is Toneel and Tristan, are they back at practice?
Well, yeah.
Tom, what do you expect to see from your running backs? Kyle's out. What do you expect to see from your running backs this weekend?
Well, with Toneel and Tristan, you hope, one, they can protect the ball. I don't know that there's been a full practice that those guys have gone through where the ball hasn't been on the ground by one, if not both of them. So they're never going to play for us in a game if they can't protect the football. And, we talk about, I thought it was great. We had Jerome Bettis come talk to our team last year, and he specifically talked to the running backs, and he said, a running back's job description is to protect the football and protect the quarterback. Anything after that's gravy, and that's kind of the philosophy that we take too. If you can't protect the football, you're not going to see the field. So if they can protect the football, get their assignments right, and run hard with good pad level, I think that's a success, considering one's really young and the other one's really, really young, should be a senior in high school.
Tom, you know that expectations are rising about this program, you, everything else. There's probably going to be people who check out Saturday just to see how things are going. What do you want them to see?
A defense that, regardless of the call, because like most spring games that are televised, will be very vanilla. We don't want to give a whole lot away, especially being a new staff, and that's the one of the positives of being a new staff is you kind of have that a little bit of an edge going into the first game. So it'll be very vanilla, but you still should be able to see a defense that flies to the football, 11 hats to the football, and getting takeaways, and you should see an offense that is hopefully, at least with the ones, very limited penalties and the ability to sustain drives but also make big plays.
Tom, at this stage, do you have a pretty good handle on what you have, or is that still too early right now?
I think pretty good is a good adjective, or whatever you want to call it. I think we have an idea, a decent idea. Training camp is about getting ready to go play a season and win a game one, and so there's not a whole lot of time given to guys to earn their spot on the depth chart in training camp. So and we've told them that, when we leave spring practice, you'll have kind of a definitive pecking order of guys that we trust, guys that are on the cusp, guys that are probably a year away, and then probably guys that'll never be there, because of, you've had 15 practices to prove to us what kind of football player you are. And, well, coach, give me to the training camp. You had 15 practices. What did you do? If you're not there yet, if you're at least making strides to get there, then that's a good thing. But if you're not, then we got to move on.
Tom, what do you want players to get out of a spring game where the setting is different than any other?
Concentration and focus to eliminate distractions and not worry about who's in the crowd or what the score is because of the different scoring system that we'll have and all that. Just worry about doing their job each and every play and being 1-0 and being able to be 1-0 on every snap with all those things kind of happening around them.
Coach, how much can we expect, both quarterbacks to play? We're going to probably see them the majority of the game, or?
Yeah, we're going to, my philosophy in a spring game, especially with walk-ons that have been here a while and guys that have been here a while, you want to get them in the game for, a few snaps and so mom and dad can take pictures and, you know, and we can get some action photos and they can feel good about their hard work here. But for the most part, the quarterback position, you'll see those two guys with, you know, probably Covey being the only other one that gets a few reps here and there.
Tom, I know you spoke positively about that number one defensive line with Roach and Puna and Nelson. How impressed have you been with that group from practice one where they're, you know, t-shirts and shorts to now through three scrimmages?
It's hard to separate. I mean, strong to quite strong. I don't know how you guys always want me to quantify things. I mean, they have come out and done their job each and every day and tried to get better. You want to separate a guy. I mean, I have no problem because I do it in front of the team dang near every practice is Puna Ford. If we can get 11 guys playing like Puna Ford on defense, you know, look out. And if you're a defensive player on our team and you want to see what kind of fanatical championship effort you need to play with, snap in and snap out, just, you know, look at number 95.
Coach, after spring's over, do you have your plans for satellite camps right now or where you might end up going?
Yeah, I think our plan is to have 4 here in Austin, 3 in, you know, we're having one, I think, May 28th, and then 2 the first 2 weeks in June. And then we'll have a Friday night lights camp in July. And then we'll have one in the Atlanta area, one in the Las Vegas area, hoping to attract kids from both Phoenix and Los Angeles. We'll have one in the Florida coast area and one in southern Louisiana.
What's your philosophy on satellite camps? I mean, is it just one of those things that as long as it's there, go ahead and use that as a
Yeah, I mean, the rule has changed to give you 10 throughout the month of June and July. We're not going to have 10 on our campus. You know, it just waters it down. But we're not going to waste them either. So, you know, there's a lot of really good players. Again, philosophically, for us, if we can sign an entire class of national championship caliber players that are from the state of Texas, we're going to do that. If, you know, again, I've used the example, if you're going to sign 3 linebackers and the first 2 want to come to Texas and they're good enough to win a national championship, let's say the 3rd one's good enough, but he decides to go elsewhere for whatever reason, but the 4th or 5th one in the state of Texas isn't quite good enough, in your opinion, to win a national championship, then you got to go find the best one in the country that is, and that has a reciprocated interest in the University of Texas. So it's just a way for us to get, you know, our brand out there and let the guys across the country, really, I mean, we're not going to go out of the state unless it's a elite national, you know, recruit that can come in and make a difference. But, you know, we feel like those areas, you know, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Louisiana, Atlanta, and Florida have some value to us because we're in the South. There's brand recognition there, and kids, you know, kids like the University of Texas in those areas.
Coach, I know you've talked a lot about the players during the spring, but I know you're just as, you know, demanding for your coaching staff. So can you just maybe give me your assessment on the staff and how they've been done this spring and how their adjustment has gone?
Good. Yeah, I mean, there's all but one of them we've worked together, and that one comes from a system that's run very similarly to ours and Tim Beck, and so there wasn't really much of an adjustment process. I mean, that's one of the reasons I hired those guys, is because they kind of know our way of doing things and can disseminate the culture and the message to their position groups and do a hell of a job recruiting the state of Texas, and as well as developing their position group, and I think they've done a fine job thus far.
Tom, what did you like about the scrimmage on Saturday, and where were some areas that you want to see changed?
Much more physical than the Saturday before. we laid an egg in that department, both offensively and defensively on the Saturday before. So it was much more physical, especially with the ones. I was happy, you know, the one offense, especially the one offensive line, at least you could have a semblance of a drive and they weren't missing assignments and getting blown by and having a bunch of tackles in the backfield and all that stuff. Again, probably the thing that sticks out to me is our twos on both sides of the ball got to get better. We've got to create more depth. There's only a handful of guys. You'd like to be able to have a true two deep probably everywhere, but the offensive line, realistically, I think, you know, as we've talked about before, you know, you probably go into a season trusting about 7, maybe 8 total offensive linemen. But beyond that, you'd like to have a true two deep at every position, and we're not quite there yet.
Is there any position group where the depth really concerns you right now?
Corner probably would be the one off the top of my head. Got 3 guys right now that you feel like you could play in a game.
So which scholarship running backs are full go on Saturday?
Tristan and Tennille.
Tristan and Tennille, okay. So they'll get the bulk of the work.
Yeah, and Yoder and Hafley have done, and I called them up in front of the team today after practice. These are guys that take rep after rep after rep after rep, and they haven't missed a practice, they haven't missed a rep, and so wanted to recognize them because they're paying their own way, and for them to go throw their bodies around play after play after play for their teammates, we felt like they needed to be recognized for that.
Got time for 2 last ones?
Tom, any thoughts on the stuff that's going to go to the D1 Council this week, the added a 10th assistant or the recruiting calendar changes? Any thoughts on any of that stuff?
Yeah, 10th assistant I think is great, is sorely overdue. The recruiting calendar, you know, I wonder, I hope, I like the early signing day in December. What I don't like is when they've proposed the official visits all the way through, I think it's the 3rd week in June. I just think that's a lot of wear and tear on a coach or a coaching staff from, I got to juggle camps and official visits, but a kid can come on an official visit but can't participate in the camp. And I mean, there's a lot of juggling that goes along with that. So other than that, is there any other specific ones?
Not off the top of my head. No, I think those are 2 here.
Anything that you're thinking of?
Hmm?
Anything that you're thinking of that's out there on the board?
No, I think those are the only 2 big ones, yeah.
Coach, I went to the restroom here and I came across the Longhorn football hydration chart.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just maybe give me the genesis where you got that from?
What was your color?
Do you check your players' colors?
Every day, every practice
Manually,
day.
or?
Manually? No, we actually have a urine test every practice day. Today, to actually expand upon the attention to detail that's setting in. Today was the first day actually, and we read off the guys that are not hydrated and the guys that are. And today was the first day that we had 100%. I think the entire football team was hydrated before practice today, fully hydrated from a medical standpoint. And so science tells you when you're hydrated, muscles are, think of a steak, right? A steak is a muscle of a cow, but it's still a muscle. When it's hydrated, right, it's very pliable and stretchy and all that. When it's dry, like beef jerky, you tear it apart, right? So you get more pulls, more muscle strains and all that when you're dehydrated. And then the brain is 75–80% water as well. So studies have shown that your concussion rate is higher too when you're dehydrated. So being hydrated around here is not something silly. I mean, it's something we take very, very seriously because it's a huge part of injury prevention.
Are you going to let professionals handle the rest of the demolition in the locker room?
Yeah, boy, that first swing got the best. I had a practice swing the day before and everything on a different locker, and I must have hit it in a bad spot. But yeah, no, that's fun.
Did they get better, the first one?
Yeah, after the first one, I got after it pretty good.
You did.
Yeah, I was kind of proud of the way I responded to adversity. but I didn't go down. That was, I mean, for 41 years old, 14 knee surgeries, I was kind of proud of that. But no, you know, let's just say that the first quarter it got the best of me, but I finished strong. How's that?
When do you expect to have it finished or models or?
We're hoping by I think the last week in July at least.
July is
Yeah.
what you're shooting for?
For our.
So when they come back for training camp, you want it to be done?
Oh, yeah. No, I want it to be done for our Friday Night Lights camp.
Okay.
For recruiting too.
Okay.
Set?
Yeah. Thanks, guys.